Hi guys and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up in today's episode we have a look at the 3 games that are being played on Thursday and Friday in the opening rounds of the NRL. And Ricky Stuart unhappy with Andrew Abdo with ruling that season without Jordan Rapana, while others avoid further banning. So we start today with the NRL being called out for inconsistencies surrounding suspensions for off-the-field incidents and urged to come out and make a clear statement in response to the backlash. This comes after Storm hooker Brandon Smith and Warriors fullback Reece Walsh had been given a one-match game/ban from their respective suspensions, but Raiders winger Jordan Rapana didn't. Smith and Walsh both received one-match bans for off-the-field incidents over the break. Smith was involved in the infamous white powder scandal, while Walsh was found to be in possession of cocaine and allegedly arrested, and did come clean to his club in a statement a few weeks later. They were both set to miss round 1, and Walsh had an on-field ban too, meaning he missed round 2 as well. But the Storm and Warriors applied for the All-Stars game to count towards their suspensions, after the NRL Judiciary Chairman Jeff Bello ruled that the same match could be included in the Latrell Mitchell suspension. After this, NRL CEO Andrew Abdo used his discretionary powers to sign off on the Storm and Warriors request, which means Smith is free to play in round 1 while Walsh returns next week. However, the decision didn't sit well with Raiders coach Ricky Stuart, who, according to News Corp, journalist Paul Crawley tried to apply to do the same thing with Rapana's drink driving suspension, but was rejected. The story I got from Raiders is that Ricky Stuart sat down with Jordan prior to the All-Stars match and said, if you could use this as your suspension for your drink driving charge, would you be prepared? Crawley told the NRL 360 show. He said, of course. I wanted to play in the All-Stars, but I wanted to win a competition, and if it means I can play in round 1, for sure, that's what I'll do. They went to the integrity unit and they were told it was clearly stipulated in the rules that a rep match could be used for an on-field indiscretion like it was with Latrell. However, it couldn't be used in off-field indiscretions, which was the case with Jordan. It was actually written in his suspension that he'd serve it in round 1, so Raiders walked away. So the Raiders understandably looked back and said, well, where's the consistency? Why are we changing the rules? Stuart came out swinging after Smith and Walsh benefited from Abdo's decision and Rapana didn't, and said last week that it is Canberra Raiders copping it up the arse again. Knowing it wouldn't count towards his suspension, Rapana played in the All-Stars clash and ended up picking up a fresh suspension for an on-the-field incident, so will miss the opening 2 rounds. It's a weird one, this. I think it's one rule for one and one rule for another. I really don't know what to make of it. If Abdo has stepped in for the discretionary powers, then he's circumvented the tribunal and should have said, have you had anyone else like this? But no. Probably didn't ask, probably didn't know. 2 people with off-the-field indiscretions got away with it. One's got a 1 match to face, while Jordan Rapana has now got to face 2 more matches, as well as a suspension that he was already serving. So it's 3 matches he's going to be out for, more than likely. There shouldn't be any discretionary powers in disciplinary cases. It should be read to the letter. Unless Abdo's playing favourites here and got his friends on board, I don't know what's going on. And Jordan Rapana is just one of the victims of people playing favourites, I think. So, as the NRL is kicking off this weekend, we are going to have a quick look into the first game that's played on Thursday, UK time 9 in the morning. The Penrith Panthers host the Manly Seagulls. Now, the opening game in the 2022 season is with Penrith being at home, and their dominance last year was no small parts to the superb form of their halfback Nathan Cleary, who was always going to be touch and go for round one after off-season shoulder surgery, but has now been ruled out for a few weeks in a huge blow to Penrith's hopes of starting the season with a bang. Manly's own dominance was built off the back of the stunning individual season for Daily M medal winner Tom Trbojevic, who has already been setting up tries for fun through the trials, and he's out to not just match but improve on his individual season, already considered one of the best ever by a rugby league player. So now let's look into each team's team news. So Panthers, as they've declared that Nathan Cleary is going to be out, local junior Sean O'Sullivan will make his first NRL appearance for the club. With Paul Momirovski and Matt Burton gone, Steve Crichton returns to the centres alongside rookie Isaac Tago, and Charlie Staines is back on the wing. For the Seagulls though, Hamole Olakoatu has surprisingly been named to make an early return from an elbow injury, with Ethan Bulmore his second row partner, with Josh Schuster currently injured. Exciting young rookie Tolutau Kola makes his debut off the bench with Dylan Walker absent. Toff Sipley starts alongside Marty Tapau in the front row. So here are those two squads in full. On the left we have the Penrith Panthers side: Dylan Edwards, Charlie Stain, Isaac Tago, Steve Crichton, Brian Toto, who had an impressive season last year, as did Jerome Luai, and Sean O'Sullivan making his debut. On the other side they have Tom Trbojevic, Jason Saab, Brad Parker, Morgan Harper, Ruben Garrick, Kieran Foran and Daly Cherry Evans. From that backline you would have to give it to the Manly Seagulls, of the better of the two, but like Novocaine, the Panthers know exactly what the coach wants and repeat it non-stop. In the forwards you have Moses Leota, Apise Coruscant in his final season with the club, James Fisher-Harris, Willem Kikau, same as Coruscant, Liam Martin and Isaac Yeo. On the Seagull side, they have Tawafofowa Sipley, Lachlan Croker, Marty Tapau, Aumoli Olakoatu, Ethan Bulmore and Jake Trbojevic. On my opinions, it's the forwards that have the Penrith's positives. As long as they're being led around well, they will dominate the Manly forwards. Then we're expecting from the interchange bench Mitch Kenny, Scott Sorensen, Spencer Linio and Matthew Eisenhuth, while the Seagulls have Tulatau Kola, Carl Lawton, Sean Kepi and Taniela Pasiaka. Well, we're only in the early stages of this squad being named, and like in so many events, cards are subject to change depending on COVID and everything else. We might see the same squad, but as I said, I think that the backs are better with the Manly Seagulls, but the forwards are better with the Penrith Panthers. So if the forwards neutralise each other, I think Manly will win this. I think Manly, for the opening game of the season, will win at the Bluebet Stadium. So the two games on Friday, and we're going to have a quick look into who's going to be involved, as it's the NRL. It's starting this week, so we've got to cover it to make sure that we're covering all our bases. So the first game on Friday, the early kickoff, is the Canberra Raiders versus the Cronulla Sharks. This kicks off at 7 AM UK time, and sees the Raiders start the season at home as they look to bounce back from their disappointing 2021 season, while the new look Sharks are out to spoil the party after just missing out on the finals last year. The Friday twilight clash will also be the first in the NRL coaching career of new Sharks mentor Craig Fitzgibbon. So here are the teams and who's in and out. So first, the away side. Ronaldo Mulitalo starts in the centres with recruit Matt Ikivalu on the wing, and Connor Tracy's not in the squad at all. Teague Wilton replaces injured skipper Wade Graham in the back row, while recruit Dale Finucane captains the side from lock, and Andrew Fafita earns a spot on the bench in his first NRL game since that horror throat injury at the end of the 2021 season. The Raiders have Brad Schneider starting at half-back for the injured Jamal Fogarty, who was signed just in pre-season. James Schiller earns a starting spot at centre alongside Matt Timioko, with Jared Croker to return via the reserve grade. And fullback Charsney Nickel Klotstadt has kept Xavier Savage out of the 17. Adam Elliott makes his club debut as well, as he is starting from the bench. So this one is going to be a tough one for me to predict, as in the trial games, first of all, Sharks won 30 points to 6 against the Canterbury Bulldogs, and Nico Hines continues to impress after his breakout year with the Melbourne Storm in 2021. He's been shifted from fullback to the halves and goes strength to strength with his ball playing top notch in the 55 minutes that he was on the pitch. Plus, he was taking the goal kicking. He's a direct replacement for Sean Johnston. On the other hand, with the Canberra Raiders, they went on to beat the Sydney Roosters and severely injury-depleted Manly Seagulls. So take that as much as you will. As much as I want to say Canberra Raiders due to the England contingent, I think Cronulla Sharks will start quite well in this game and will win the game away from home. But it's a tough one. But isn't that how we like the NRL? Tough decisions on who's going to win which game. The second game is at Suncorp Stadium, where the Broncos host the Rabbitohs in their opening games for this 2022 season. And it's kind of going to be, well, what's supposed to be an Adam Reynolds comeback game against his old team, as he made the move over from Rabbitohs to Brisbane Broncos on a big money deal. But unfortunately, the number 7 hasn't been able to make it, and that's left with the two sides naming their squads early without a star pull not being involved. So, who are in the teams? Well, for the team news, the Billy Walters and Albert Kelly are the half pairing, with star recruit Adam Reynolds ruled out of round 1 following COVID diagnoses. Jermaine Izako is at fullback with Selwyn Cobo and Corey Oates on the wing. Keenan Palacia starts at prop with Tom Fledgler suspended. Kurt Capewell makes his debut for the club in the back row, with Ryan James and Tyrone Roberts doing likewise from the interchange bench. For the Rabbitohs though, no surprises in the Jason Demetriou's first team list, with Blake Taft deputising for the suspended Latrell Mitchell at fullback. Lachlan Ilias replaces Adam Reynolds in the number 7 jersey, Jackson Paulo sliding in at centres, and Tarn Milne on the wings, with JRO starting on an edge, and Michael Cheekham making his club debut from the bench. So it's expected to be a blowout between the two sides, as the Rabbitohs, who were the 2021 Premier runners-up, will continue their strong form underneath Demetriou, with a bit of the old in Wayne Bennett defensive and coordination, with the flair of Demetriou. But I'm not sure it's going to be like that. I think that with the Broncos team being up against it, with their star man being out, they'll galvanise a little bit and they'll put up a good offensive display. Rabbitohs will probably still win this, but not by as many as what people think. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and also share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates on new videos that will be coming your way soon. So tell me what your thoughts on today's video are. Do you think that Ricky Stuart has a point, that he's missing Jordan Rapana, and for further games than what they should be, due to the All-Stars game inclusion? Who do you think will win out of those 3 games as well that were previewed? Do you agree with my assessment, or do you have an alternate picture that you want to paint for me? I'll be happy to see and hear more from you guys. I've put up that barcode again for you to join my Facebook page. I welcome any discussions on there, and again, it's for free stuff to be shared with your local rugby clubs. My 2 items are still on there. Anyone who's willing to wants to take up on them, then not a problem. But in the meantime, please remember to comment and stay civil, stay safe. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in the next episode.